Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and become food detectives today. We're going to solve the ultimate mystery of what exactly makes our bodies strong, energetic, and healthy. I mean, if you've ever stopped to wonder what is actually happening on your plate and how it affects literally everything you do, well, you are in the perfect place. Let's get started.
So, here is the game plan for our investigation today. We're going to explore health and food diversity, meet our superhero nutrients, do a little food testing, talk about a balanced diet and millets, and finally, figure out what food miles are.
All right, let's jump straight into part 1, health and food diversity.
Now listen to this incredible piece of ancient wisdom from Ayurveda. It says, "He who consumes a perfect diet in the required quantity, suited to the season, time, and place, is a healthy person." This basically frames our whole investigation. It reminds us that being healthy isn't just about eating a massive mountain of food. Actually, it's about eating exactly what our local environment gives us at the right time and in the right amounts. True health is, essentially, a perfect harmony between us and our surroundings.
To put that into perspective, our local environment literally writes our daily recipes. Up north in Punjab, the sunny climate is absolutely perfect for growing wheat, so their staple diet revolves around roti. But travel down south to Karnataka and the weather is ideal for rice and ragi, and that gives us delicious idli, dosa, and ragi mude. Our geography completely shapes what we eat. So I want you to think about this for a second, and maybe discuss it with the person next to you. How have the tools we use to prepare these regional foods evolved over time? I mean, we went from gathering firewood and manually turning heavy grinding stones to just flicking on a gas stove or an electric mixer. While our methods had become so much faster, the foundational foods we rely on are still deeply tied to where we live.
Okay, moving on to part 2. Nutrients, our tiny, invisible superheroes. Here is the big secret. Our food isn't just stuff that fills up our stomachs to stop us from feeling hungry. It is packed with these essential components called nutrients. Without these microscopic heroes, our bodies literally wouldn't have the juice to run, jump, heal a scraped knee, or even focus in class. They are the absolute building blocks of life.
Let's break these guys down into their superpower categories. First up, we've got carbohydrates and fats. You can think of these as your body's batteries. They're your energy givers, and you get them from things like rice, wheat, ghee, and nuts. Then we have proteins. These are the bodybuilders. They're like the physical bricks that build up your muscles and repair your tissues. You'll find these heroes in pulses, milk, eggs, and meat.
Now, this part is absolutely crucial. Think of vitamins and minerals as your shields against some pretty terrible villains, deficiency diseases. For instance, vitamin A keeps your eyes sharp. Without it, you risk night blindness. Vitamin C, which you get from lemons and oranges, fights off a nasty bleeding gum disease called scurvy. Vitamin D from sunlight and milk prevents soft bones, which is known as rickets. And the minerals are just as vital. Iron prevents anemia, and iodine stops a really severe neck swelling condition called goiter. If you don't invite these heroes onto your plate, the villains are definitely going to take over.
All right, step into the detective lab for part 3, testing our food. Let's prove these superheroes are actually in there. First up is the starch test. Starch is a carb that gives us energy. If you take a sample of food, let's say a piece of potato or some rice, and add just 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution, something magical happens. If the food turns this deep blue-black color, boom, you've successfully discovered the undeniable presence of starch. Next, we have the fat test. You can literally do this one at home today. Just take a peanut or a piece of cheese, wrap it in a normal piece of paper, and press it carefully so it doesn't tear. When you unfold it, look closely. If you see an oily mark on the paper that lets light pass through, that is your indisputable proof that the food contains fat.
Finally, let's test for our bodybuilders, proteins. For this one, you make a liquid paste out of your food and then add 2 specific chemicals, copper sulfate and caustic soda. This is where you see the real magic of science. If the mixture suddenly turns purple in your test tube, that reveals that those muscle-building proteins are hiding right there in your food.
Okay, moving to part 4. Balanced diet and millets. Let's see how this all comes together. So here's the catch, guys. Eating just one type of food, even if it's super healthy, just isn't going to cut it. A balanced diet means you need the right proportion of carbs, fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, you absolutely need roughage, which is fiber, and water. It's the ultimate team-up required for your body to operate smoothly. The whole shebang.
And when we talk about a balanced diet, we absolutely have to talk about our local superfoods, millets, or as we call them, siridhanyagalu. Crops like jawar, bajra, and ragi are absolute powerhouses. In fact, they're so incredibly good for you that they're officially called Nutri-Cereals. They're just packed to the brim with massive amounts of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. A real game changer for your health.
Now, quick checkpoint question for you. Have you ever stopped to wonder exactly how far your ragi mudda or your dosa traveled to reach your plate? Take a second to imagine the incredible journey your food takes before you even take your very first bite.
Which brings us perfectly to our final section, food miles and saving.
So this journey is measured by a concept called food miles. It's exactly what it sounds like, the total distance that food travels from the hardworking farmer who grew it all the way to you, the consumer. And here's the thing. When food has to travel a really long distance, it costs way more money, it causes a lot of vehicle pollution, and honestly, it's just not as fresh by the time it gets to your kitchen.
And this is exactly why eating local is a superpower. By eating crops grown right near us, like those amazing local millets, we drastically reduce our food miles. Eating local not only keeps us healthier because the food is fresher and packed with nutrients, but it also heavily protects our planet by cutting down on harmful pollution. It is a massive win for absolutely everyone.
Let's quickly recap our investigation today. We learned that nutrients, our energy givers, bodybuilders, and shields, protect us and keep us moving. We saw how cool lab tests can prove what's inside our meals. We discovered that a balanced diet, especially with local millets, builds a healthy body. We learned that lowering food miles helps the earth. And above all, we learned we must respect the backbreaking effort of our farmers by never, ever wasting a single grain on our plates. So I want you to take this final thought home with you. Now that you've seen the science, the intense hard work of the farmers, and those microscopic superheroes fighting for you inside every single bite, how are you going to ensure zero food waste on your plate today? Think about how you can be a hero for your body, for the farmers, and for our planet, starting with your very next meal.